Born in Nottingham before moving south in early childhood, Paice got his first drum kit at 15. He began his professional career in the early 1960s, playing drums in his father's dance band. The first band he was in was called Georgie the Rave-Ons, which after being renamed the Shindigs released their first single featuring the 17-year-old Paice and George Adams. In 1966, Paice joined the MI5, which soon changed its name to the Maze. Primarily a club band, the Maze produced a number of singles and recorded mainly in Italy and France. The Maze featured vocalist Rod Evans, who alongside Paice was to form the original lineup of Deep Purple in March 1968. Evans had responded to an ad for a lead singer published by Deep Purple management, and showed up for his audition with Ian Paice in tow. Given that Deep Purple's first choice as drummer Bobby Woodman had expressed dislike for the band's musical direction, the group hastily arranged an audition for Paice with guitarist Ritchie Blackmore leading the charge. Blackmore, in interviews years later, stated, "I had looked for Ian Paice for about a year after seeing him perform in Hamburg. He's an incredible drummer, and he was the motor of the band." Paice is the last remaining original Deep Purple member in the band in the present day. After Deep Purple split up, Paice went on to form a new group, Paice Ashton Lord, in 1976. The band also comprising singer and pianist Tony Ashton, Deep Purple organist Jon Lord, guitarist-vocalist Bernie Marsden, and bassist Paul Martinez, recorded one album and played only 5 live shows. Paice Ashton Lord were put on hold in 1977, halfway through recording the group's second album. They subsequently broke up allegedly because Tony Ashton only felt at home playing live shows in little clubs. In August 1979, Paice was asked by David Coverdale to join Whitesnake on the Japanese tour for the Lovehunter album. He stayed with the band for almost 3 years. He appeared on the Whitesnake albums, Ready and Willing, Live in the Heart of the City, Come and Get It, and Saints and Sinners. This incarnation of Whitesnake featured David Coverdale and Jon Lord, which meant 3 members of the Mark III lineup of Deep Purple were in Whitesnake during this period. Following musical differences with David Coverdale, Paice left Whitesnake in January 1982. In 1982, Paice joined Gary Moore for an album that turned into Corridors of Power. Moore's manager subsequently came up with the idea of Moore and Paice putting a band together under Moore's name, so that his management would take the business side of the project, with Paice having a sizable interest in the band. The collaboration turned out to be a successful one, and produced a couple of albums and extensive tours. Paice left Moore's band in April 1984, when the reformed Deep Purple reconvened, and he remains in Deep Purple to the present day. On the 19th of June 1992, Paice was among guest musicians performing at the Leukemia Research Charity Concert in Oxford. The concert featured members of Bad Company and Procol Harum, as well as Gary Moore and Tony Ashton. On the 20th of October, 1992 in New York, Paice played at the John Bonham Tribute, alongside Jason Bonham, Tommy Aldridge, Denny Carmassi, and Frankie Banali, among others. Paice performed The Rover from the Led Zeppelin album Physical Graffiti. Paice joined Tony Ashton at 2 performances at the Hell Blues Festival on 10 and the 11th of September 1999 in Norway. The band also featured Paul Martinez on bass, who had played alongside Ashton and Paice in Paice Ashton Lord in 1976 and 1977. The group was, however, billed as Tony Ashton and Legendary Friends. Paice entertained more than 1,000 people at a special charity concert in Reading on the 13th of January 2006. This highly successful event, which raised over £7,000, was organized by Chris Wright, MD of Drumright. Paice is married and has 3 children, James, Emmy, and Callie. His wife Jackie is the twin sister of the late Jon Lord's wife Vicky. It had been rumored that Paice has only 1 lung. In reality, he is only missing a portion of the lower lobe in his left lung, due to contracting a case of pneumonia when he was 6 years old that turned into tuberculosis. He is almost always seen wearing glasses with blue-tinted spectacle lenses. Paice is a supporter of England rugby and has a good knowledge of the game. His son James played for a long time. He talked about it in Oval Bin Show with Luca Tremontin. On the 14th of June 2016, he suffered a transient ischemic attack or mini-stroke. This led to Deep Purple cancelling 2 concerts planned in Sweden that week. He said after the incident that there was no serious or permanent damage and expected to return to performing in July. He added that the cancelled concerts were the first Deep Purple performances of which he had forced the cancellation since his co-founding of the band in 1968. He returned to stage with Deep Purple in Gothenburg on the 1st of July, playing a full set list with the band, but without performing his drum solo.